make geometric shapes in your Illustrator document. So what I want you to do is open your Unit 1 practice book. And now I've already done this for one class, so you'll see that I've already done this, but I'll make some new artboards to remind you of how to do that and also how to create some more geometric shapes. I know we learned about geometric shapes week 1, which feels like a million years ago, but as a reminder, geometric shapes are made with straight lines and or easily named, so like any don, square, rectangle, dodecagon, octagon, trapezoid, and circles and ovals are all geometric shapes. So here is my Unit 1 practice book. Remember, you don't ever want to delete anything. I always want to see all the stuff you've been working on. So if you run out of spaces or pages, we can make new artboards. So to do that, the artboard tool. Now, if your setup doesn't look like mine, I just want to do a quick reminder that you can go to Window, Workspace, and change it to Essentials Classic, and that will make it look like mine. So here in the Essentials Classic, this is my artboard tool. It's on the far left side, right above the white hand. So if I click artboard, it will select one of them. And this one's fine, and I want to make a couple new ones because I know I'm going to be playing around. So to create a new artboard, I just go to this little plus here, and I like to have mine sort of set up in this window pane situation. So I'm doing that, and I'm going to make another new one, and another new one, just for this activity. And as you can tell, I have a life going on here, but that's no problem. So I'm going to zoom in here on one of my new artboards. And I'm going to put text. This is with the type tool. Click and say shape. And I'm going to make that bigger. So when I make anything in Illustrator, if I click on it with my selection tool, you'll see it has these 4 little boxes around the edges. And this is how we can resize. If you want to resize, make sure you're holding shift when you do that, otherwise it won't maintain the proportion. So I'm making shape big. And then I'm going to take another little text and click and release, and I'm going to write geometric shape, because we have both geometric shape and organic shape, and then we also have abstract shapes. And remember, abstract shapes are like simplified or like symbolic versions of organic shapes. But anyway, for today we're sticking with geometric shape, which means it's straight edged and or a circle / oval. So I'm going to take the first way you can make a shape. You've been practicing with the pen tool a little bit, but if you grab your pen tool, you can either press P, which will bring you to pen tool, or you can go down 3 to the left. And so when I click and release, I get an anchor point. Click and release again, I get another anchor point, and I can tell right now I'm going to have an issue because I'm looking over at my stroke and fill here. I want to switch that so I have an outline and not a fill. And I'm going to click, and so now if I now want to make a shape, so this is just a geometric line, straight line segments. If I want to make this a shape, when I go over the original anchor point, so the first one, you'll notice that instead of just looking like a pen tool, there will be a little circle next to it. That means I have now closed this shape. So this is a geometric shape. I can take my pen, and if I hold shift while I'm doing pen, it will keep my lines straight, so I can make a beautiful rectangle, or actually this is pretty close to a square, but I think it's more a rectangle. So that's how to make a geometric shape with the pen tool. I find it's easier to make triangles with the pen tool. Oops. So there's just a couple geometric shapes. Now once you make something a shape, we can do this little switcheroony here, and you can change the fill. We're going to get much more into color this week, but you can change your fill to a different color if you'd like to do that. And I'll teach you a couple other tools about that. So for now, I just want you to learn how to make shapes with the pen tool. And then the other way we make geometric shapes, Illustrator has a bunch of geometric shapes built in. And those are living underneath the text tool. There's a rectangle tool. So if we click on the rectangle tool, I can click and drag and pull out a rectangle. Yay, beautiful. I can click and release, whoops, and I can choose my width and height. So say I knew I was designing a new dollar bill, I don't know. I could put that I wanted the width to be 5.5 inches and the height to be 3 inches, and I would get that rectangle as well. I'm going to zoom out here so you can see what I'm doing. All right. I'm going to press V so that I can move this guy over here. And with any shape that you make, you notice we have these handles on the edges like we did with the type. And so you can resize, holding shift. Another thing you can do with these handles is if you pull out a little further, you'll see there's this arrow, this double-sided arrow. And so I can also turn this and make it angled. So that's pretty cool. And then another thing with this rectangle tool, you'll notice, so this is the center of the rectangle tool, so you can move it around by its center. As long as you have a fill in your shape, you can move it around by clicking. But if you only have an outline, you want to make sure that you're dragging it by the path, because there's nothing actually in here, so there's nothing to move. The other thing that you can do with a rectangle is you see these little circles on the edges. We can actually round the edges of our rectangle. Whoa, and do we make it an oval or like, I don't know, what is that, a hockey rink? If you wanted to make it a little bit like just one corner, you can double click there and pull that corner in. Look, now we have sort of a funky shape. We're going to stop now and see if I can calm things down here, and then I'm going to give you another one in a minute.